Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your flexibility as we transition from having an in-person open house to doing this online. Um, Please feel free to drop questions in the chat. I'm going to kind of go through a presentation that I'm anticipating will take about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And then we have some students who are going to be joining us so that you can hear a student perspective on Great River School as well. Okay, so glad that you are all here. That's me in the middle. I'm Randy McClure. I am the Adolescent Operations Program Director. And usually at these events, I'm joined by Jeremy Perrin, who's our Executive Director, and Sue Zhang, who is our Adolescent Instructional Program Director. Sue and I work really closely. We share an office. And so if you come to Great River, you'll get to see her a lot as well.
I can introduce myself since I'm
Oh,
here.
Stacy.
Um,
Yeah.
I wasn't intending to be here, but I'm helping out with the webinar. So my name is Stacy Krieger. I use she, her pronouns. I am the Director of Administration at Great River, and I know quite a bit about the adolescent program as well, can help answer questions as we go.
Absolutely. So, Great River School is a Montessori learning community, prepares students for their unique roles as responsible and engaged citizens of the world. This is our GRS mission statement that we read at the beginning of every meeting. And our vision is world peace through Montessori education, which at times like these, it's hard to think of a better goal than that. So, what is Montessori education, though? Oftentimes, Montessori, we think about it through the lens of like preschool, children's houses. Um, and in fact, Great River was one of the really early adolescent programs in Minnesota. And Montessori education comes from Dr. Maria Montessori, who was really one of the first female physicians in Italy. And she lived in the 19th century, and she really was such an incredible scientist. And she did so much observation, and she really started thinking about these tendencies of young people in these kind of four different age brackets. And so we call this the four planes of development in Montessori education. And the adolescent program really falls into this third plane of development. And so tonight, as we kind of talk about like, what is Great River? What do we do here? What makes us unique? What makes us interesting? I'm going to try to really do this through the tendencies for the adolescent, which is really about helping me find myself in the world. Okay, so the first two tendencies that we have are the search for identity and self-construction and a need for social belonging. Oftentimes, when we see students entering that third plane of development, suddenly the biggest shift you notice is this really strong desire to be with friends all the time, that those social interactions feel like the most important thing that's happening. And so, because we know that to be true, we start off every single school year with a camping trip. And we call these our key experiences. Our seventh and eighth graders travel to different areas. So, this past year, they were in the Driftless region for a 5-day camping trip. Our ninth graders go to a farm right down here. There's a picture of them hanging out by the Red Barn and having a meeting. Our 10th graders go to Itasca. So here they are walking across the headwaters of the Mississippi River. Our 11th graders go on a college trip. So they visit technical schools, state colleges, private universities, as well as like a folk school. And our seniors, here they are down here in the lower left-hand corner. They're practicing their different paddling strokes because every year we canoe down the Namakagon River in Wisconsin, which is the cleanest river in the tri-state area. It is so cool. I love going on this trip. We saw these like 3-foot sturgeons this year. And it feeds into the St. Croix River. And so as we think about this time in their life as they're moving on from childhood into adulthood, it's a really beautiful metaphor. And on all of these trips, we have curriculum that ties to what the students are going to be learning during that year. There's so much interdependence built into what we do. So the students are cooking all of the meals, they're tenting, they have these evening meetings. So up here in the right-hand corner, you can see where the students are sitting around a campfire every night, reflecting on how the day went. But this is such a powerful way of creating a sense of belonging. A lot of students feel nervous, rightly so, when they're going to a new school, because it's a little bit out of the ordinary. And we've also found, so we do a poll when our students come back from these trips, asking students, do you feel like you belong at Great River? And 87% of our students after the third week of school felt like I belong here. And that's so much in part because of these key experiences that we do at the beginning of the year. And then we end with a key experience as well. So our seventh and eighth graders do a bike trip. They bike 100 miles. It's also one of my favorite trips that we do. And our high school students get to design projects themselves. And so I love up here in the right-hand corner, there's a fishing group that was or a fishing trip that students planned. Some of them are camping trips. A lot of them stay on campus. There's a group that was doing like podcasts. There's a lot of social justice groups that we do, a lot of walking to different walking, I say, a lot of going to national parks and state parks. And so it's a really fun way to end the year again, finding new friendships and creating that stronger sense of interdependence. Okay, the other thing that we do to help create a sense of belonging is to not have cell phones. So we are a cell phone free school. Each student gets a Yonder pouch, and they go in the Yonder pouches at the beginning of the day. They stay on each student, and then they get unlocked at the end of the school day. But we do that because we really, really believe in this mission of world peace and communication, and that really only happens when you're having these like meaningful face-to-face interactions with each other. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is this sensitivity to justice and fairness and desire for independence and autonomy. When I think about Montessori education, I often think about this way of building independence with our students. And so I want to kind of show you our weekly schedule of what students can expect. So up top, we have the seventh and eighth graders, and down below, the high school typical weekly schedule. So we run a block schedule. Each of our classes is about an hour and 20 minutes long, and students have those classes 2 days a week. So Monday is an A day, for example. And on an A day, you might have independent work, a science class, an English class, an elective of some kind, and an independent work block. So these independent work blocks that I bring up, and you'll see the seventh and eighth graders have independent work every morning, is a time where students are figuring out what is the work that they have and how do they prioritize that work. Especially with the seventh and eighth grade, we really try to teach executive functioning. And when our students, I love our alumni panels every year when our students come back to talk about what has been most meaningful for them after leaving school. One of the things that they talk about is independent work and how they feel like they are leaving Great River with incredible time management skills that a lot of their peers don't necessarily have. Um, I also want to point out that we have this advisory time weekly. So students have the same advisor for multiple years in a row. We really want to build relationships between students and teachers. We call our teachers guides. Most of our teachers go by their first names. And it's a time where we get to talk about both kind of the health and wealth and well-being of our program in general. But it's also a time where there's a lot of bonding that happens, lots of playing games together, and lots of, I love visiting advisories because sometimes they'll be playing hot seat and really getting to know each other. And then one thing that you'll notice too is this community meeting. And so community meeting is a time where our entire grade level gets together. and really talks about what are some of the issues that are facing you. So when I think about a sense of fairness and justice, we often have administrators come to those meetings. The students are really a part of constructing the community. And so I think sometimes schools tend to think of like school is something that's happening to you versus being in a school where it feels like we are actually building this community actively together, and it requires every single participant. One other thing that you might notice is this Wednesday schedule. So we've got this cast block in the afternoon, and I'm going to actually talk about that a little bit later. But I love on Wednesday mornings, we have these big blocks of independent work, and there are actually no other academic classes happening during that time. Students have access to all of their guides. And so if they were out sick, for example, or if they felt like they needed a lesson kind of retaught to them, like they were missing maybe some component, that's really a wonderful flexible time that we have. Uh, and students have a lot of choice in where they work. So they can even sign out if there's like a particular space that they enjoy working in, so that they can be in that space. So we try to offer different forms of kind of like ways to have autonomy, ways to have independence throughout the day. Um, Let me talk a little bit more about the classes that we have. So we're an IB for all school, which is pretty unusual. So IB stands for International Baccalaureate, and most IB schools, it is a school within a school. And so it tends to be kind of like students who are interested in taking honors classes or AP classes. IB is kind of another extension of that. And we, in fact, are a leading IB for all school, which means that all of our 11th and 12th grade students take IB Global Politics, IB Science courses, IB Mathematics, and IB Literature. Um, and there are a few exceptions to that, but by and large, all of the students are taking these IB courses. We have done a lot of work over the years to think about how to differentiate these classes to make them accessible for all students. And for our students that are interested in a more rigorous academic experience, they can do what's called the IB diploma. And that has some higher level courses that they're taking. They have to write what's called an extended essay. Our juniors are about to start that right now. Uh, and uh, and they sit for exams. So at the end of their 12th grade year, the last month of school, they're taking exams. And depending on how they do on those exams, they often receive some college credit for those courses as well. Okay, so just kind of a snapshot of what some of our class offerings look like. I want to point out that we have a lot of IB courses for our 11th and 12th grade students. And this does not kind of sum up all of the classes that we offer. One thing I think about being a small school is that sometimes because we have more limited options, then we tend to cycle through things. So I'm also thinking about a conversation I had with Stacy earlier today about offering psychology for our students. And so we really do try to expand what kind of options we have. We also are really lucky to have two full-time art teachers and two full-time music teachers at our small school. And so our students have a lot of elective options as well. We are a standards-based grading school. It feels like it fits really well with Montessori since students are assessed on what they know rather than on executive functioning. It also offers up more opportunities for differentiation. I love walking into classes where you get some options about how you're able to express what you know. It really leans into, I think, the adolescent's desire for some creativity. So students who are like, I just want to write a paper, they could write a paper and show their knowledge that way. Whereas I've also seen students who, put together really incredible video models or might create like an image and then have this artist statement that explains their understanding of this piece of literature through the art. And so I love standards-based grading and how it allows for more flexibility that way. Okay, so fluctuating emotions, vulnerability. We really think about how we're instilling confidence in our students here and giving them opportunities to shine. And so you may have noticed in that weekly schedule that we offer clubs. Um, during the school day. And so we have students who are really active members in our clubs. Model UN is about to start up for semester two. We just finished youth and government, and they had a big 4 day field trip where they went and met up with hundreds of other students in the Twin Cities. That was pretty exciting. Again, a small school, but I feel like the things that we do really well. So I think about our robotics team that like pretty regularly goes to the world championships. And they have this wall. Realized I should have added a picture of their wall of so many trophies. I think about our ultimate frisbee team. Stacy, do you have an idea of what percentage of our students do ultimate frisbee?
Oh goodness, it's so many. Like we can't make a sports team in any other sport, but we make like multiple ultimate frisbee teams. It's quite a few. At least half
Yeah,
of each grade level.
it's very popular. So we are often state champions. We often go to state championships. Um, we team up with TCA for our sports. So as Stacey said, we are able to do a lot of different types of sports because we team up with another school. But yeah, Ultimate Frisbee is definitely pretty huge. We also have a really great theater program. So they just won an award last year for Spotlight for a really spectacular production of Les Mis. So we aim high with the extracurriculars we do here. And then the last thing I want to mention is this need for meaningful real work and a drive for contribution and valorization. So, valorization is this idea that you are meeting the needs of your community and your community is recognizing you for that as well. And so this fits really nicely with CAS. So as I mentioned, on Wednesday afternoons, we have what we call CAS. CAS stands for Creativity, Activity, and Service. And it is a large block of time. So our younger students, our 7th through 10th graders, sign up for different workshops that they rotate through. So they'll have the same workshops for about a month at a time. And a lot of their workshops are meeting the needs of our community. So I think about right outside my office door, we had some students that did a drive for winter clothes for students to wear when we have recess, but it's particularly cold outside. If anybody needs to borrow, it's kind of like a lending library for clothes. We have so many fun options. Some students actually just developed a Greek and Norse mythology cast that they're going to be presenting. They're going to be leading it our next February rotation. And then that transfers, like it shifts a little bit as students get to 11th and 12th grade. So we were the recipients of a really incredible grant that allowed us to expand our internship and career pathways program here. And so all of our 11th and 12th graders on Wednesday afternoons engage in some sort of internship, work, volunteer. There's a lot of like earning industry credentials. And so Laura Chrisley is our manager of this program, and she has over 120 different placements. We have so many students at different healthcare centers, working in automotive, working in engineering, farming, childcare. There's there's so much. I think of like feline rescue is always a popular option too, or there's a like Best Buy Team Tech for Success for students who are really interested in tech fields. So our student panelists are also going to share some of the internships that they do, but it's a really, again, when I talk about our alumni panelists, kind of what are some of the things that they share, this is something that has been really, really helpful for them as they kind of narrow down what do I want to do? Where do I want to be in the world? And how can I feel like I'm giving back to my community and doing meaningful work? Okay, so we are really thinking about like the holistic student at Great River School. And so while academics are important to us, I think that often when I think about our program, I think about all the different ways that we are trying to meet those adolescent tendencies. But we also see it paying off. So we see that we're this number one IB school for Ivy and elite colleges enrollment, and that we're, awarded 14th best high school in the state. So that Minnesota Youth Skills Grant is the grant that has really allowed us to expand our internship program. And they also have really been impressed with our programming. We also see like these things kind of show up in our MCA scores. And so this, again, often when we talk about testing, we think about it as just like part of a whole. But you can see Great River at the top there, right? And the other, I don't know if you can see Minnesota State right below, and then St. Paul public districts. And so we're doing good work. I think sometimes there's kind of this question of like, wow, you're doing a lot of things. But our students are finding a lot of success as well. Oh, yeah, fine. Okay, so enrollment process. Please complete an application online by February 6th. And then our enrollment lottery day is February 13th. And then you'll be notified by the end of February. Often I feel like the number one question I get is like, what are my chances? What are my chances of getting in? Because we have high enrollment. But what I often say is people are making choices kind of throughout the summer. And so sometimes people enroll and then see like, oh, I'm really far down on the waiting list. Um, and depending on what grade you're in, sometimes that can change after like the second week of school as people make decisions right at the very end of summer. And so I would say, hang on, and apply even if you're unsure. I wonder, Stacy, does it feel like I'm missing anything there?
Nope. No, that's accurate. And depending on the grade level, like we're still enrolling 10th graders right now.
Mm.
So, and ninth grade last year, we didn't get as deep on the waiting list as we have in previous years, but sometimes we get really deep. And so yeah, just apply and you can check in on your waiting list order as the year goes on because it's live and you can keep watching it. So,
All right. I think I saw some of my
are we ready for our
student
panelists?
panelists arriving. Yeah.
I did. Student panelists, if I'm going to try to find you, but if your name is not, I'm going to click on the people who I think you are. There's a iPhone 87. I think that might be a student because they just joined, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so we're going to, Frida. Whoops. Oh gosh. Don't do that. I almost don't report. Sorry, my Zoom is doing something crazy. Let me see what's going on here.
And please feel free to drop questions in the chat, either for me or for our panelists, Stacy.
Yeah. All right. I might have to do so we're not using a webinar, we're using a other like regular Zoom meeting. So I might have to do some things to get your pictures on. Um, hold on one second, student. And everybody else, thank you for waiting for me for a second.
Mhm. I see Siri Davidson. Do you have your hand up?
Yeah, Siri, I'm gonna unmute you. Do you have a question? Are you unable to write in chat?
Yeah, it seems like the chat's disabled.
Yeah, I had locked it down. Let me do some things to edit this and make people have access, okay? Thanks.
And maybe I'm going to put into the chat what are some of the questions we're going to ask. So the first is going to be, what grade are you in? And how long have you been a student at GRS?
Avi, There we go. I think I figured something out. We're getting there. Is Esther
Perfect.
one of our students? Got Javi, got Vincent. Oliver Johnson, I saw him come in. And we have Lenny too, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome, students. Welcome. I wonder if we can just popcorn. It might be easier if I call on you. Because I feel like there's always that awkward lag with Zoom. So the first question is going to be, what grade are you in? And how long have you been a student at Great River School? And how about Vincent, will you start us off?
Yeah, I can start us off. I'm Vincent. I'm in 11th grade. I've been at Gray River for about 7 or so years, since fourth grade.
Lenny?
Oh, you're muted.
I'm Lenny. I'm a ninth grader at GRS. I've been at GRS since last year, since eighth grade. Yeah.
Oliver? No, it's still muted.
There we go. Um, hey, I'm Oliver. I'm in ninth grade, and I've been here since first grade, so I've been here a while.
Frida?
My name is Frida, and I'm in 11th grade, and I've been at Great River since 5th grade.
And Javier?
Do I have to ask everybody to unmute? I don't know if it.
Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Javier. I've been at River since 7th grade, and this is my 5th year. I'm in 11th grade. Makes sense.
Nice. Okay, first I want to know what kind of activities do you participate in at Great River? So, like, think clubs, sports. What are your favorite? Okay, we're going to go just in the opposite order. So, Javier, I'm going to start with you this time.
All right. It looks like it's not letting the students unmute themselves. So,
Oh no.
you guys, I'm just gonna unmute. Randy, you keep directing me who we're gonna talk to, and I'll unmute you guys as we go.
Perfect. Javier, we're starting with you.
All right, sounds good. I play Ultimate for our school's Ultimate team. I also ski for the Nordic team, and I am also in the music club.
Oh, can you tell us what the music club is?
Um, that's so it's every Tuesday we have a club, and I chose to be in the music club. So that's basically we do a show every year. So this year's the 70s show. And so, yeah, I'm on a few songs for that. And we practice every Tuesday. It's pretty
And
fun.
you guys like perform at the Amsterdam Bar and Hall downtown St. Paul. It's
We
like a
do.
giant fundraiser with hundreds of people.
Mhm.
That's worth bragging about, Javier. That's super cool. Frida, what kind of activities do you do?
I don't currently do a sport right now, but for many years I participated in cheerleading at TCA, and I had a really great time. I built a lot of new connections through the students at TCA. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what's it like to do sports with TCA?
I thought it was really cool because I got to meet new people that I'd never seen. I feel like growing up at Great River, I've like made a lot of deep connections with people and I kind of see the same faces all the time, which is really fun, but it's also nice to meet new people, so that was a super cool quality of that.
Mm. Oliver?
Um, I have done some stuff like that. I played basketball for GRS last year, so in eighth grade, so not in high school, but it was still good. I have not played any sports with TCA, but I hope so. I hope I can sometime. I did chess club for a bit, but not too long. when I was a bit younger. And other than that, I haven't done much.
Lenny?
So I did volleyball with TCA a few months ago, and right now I'm in yearbook club during the Tuesday clubs. Yeah.
Vincent?
I am involved in the robotics team. Currently, I also done baseball in the past. I've done frisbee. I have done the music club, and I think that's about it.
Have I seen you do
Can you tell us?
ultimate?
Tell
We
you
were
about
just talking
ultimate.
about ultimate. Yeah.
Um, well, it is kind of the biggest I guess sport we have at Great River. A lot of people play it. And it's pretty easy to pick up pretty quick. And it's pretty fun. It's a 7v7 in high school. In middle school, it's a 5v5. Um, but in high school, it's a 7v7, and you just kind of throw the frisbee down the field until you score. And it's a lot of fun. You can run around, get a lot of energy out. And Great River does have some pretty cool opportunities like practice in winter. We get the dome, like a winter dome, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for free, which is pretty cool. And definitely like worth going to get your energy out before the day starts. So yeah.
Okay, next I want to ask about like what feels unique to Great River, or what can you get from going to Great River that you might not experience at kind of like a mainstream public school, for example? I wonder, Vincent, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I can start us off, I guess. Last year in 10th grade, we had so one of the things at Great River is called it's like CAS, Community Action and Service. And last year we had thing called Flight Path where you would kind of do your own separate project for the school. You'd interview teachers and like people in your life, and you'd kind of be like figure out kind of problems going on, and you'd come up with solutions and try to do that. And I actually talked to Zach Scott, the music teacher at Great River, and we figured out that there needs to be a little bit more money sometimes to buy some cool music stuff. So me and two other kids worked with the administration, like Stacy, for example, and we raised over like $1,000 or something. And I think that's pretty unique to Great River. I don't think I've told my friends from other schools about that, and they like really wish they could throw that on like a college application or something like that. Like it's pretty unique to Great River. So
Lenny, what about you?
Um, I think that the A day and B day schedules, meaning that we have different classes on different days, is really different. And I also think the Wednesday independent work blocks are unique as well because at my old school we didn't have as much independent work to get our work done. Um, yeah, I really like how we have an independent work and CAS and the A day and B day schedule so that when we have different classes, we have like more than an hour. Yeah.
Mm. Oliver?
I think that some things unique to GRS is just like the community and how close you are with kind of everyone. Like I know most people in my grade and below pretty well, and the teachers I'm fairly connected with, and I feel comfortable around all of them. I think that GRS does a really good job actually getting you ready for like adulthood and doing stuff that's not just pure education, like just learning the subjects, but also doing stuff that's beneficial for progressing skills for adulthood.
Frida?
Um, I personally find it super cool how much support and closeness you get to, like how close you get to become with your guides. And um, I usually don't understand things right away, and I am always like teachers are always available to help me out when I need, and it's like not super hard to be provided with like resources and extra help whenever you need it, which is super cool.
Javier?
Um, I think this has already been said, but like the closeness that we have, it's a pretty small school, so you kind of know everyone, and I really like that. I think it can be a little more personalized, so like it's easier to get help. Another cool thing I think we have at Great River is our internship program. I really like that a lot, and I think that's really unique to Great River.
That was my next question is, do you have an internship and what is it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
great.
mean, if you want to start us out, that'd be great.
I intern at the Loppet Foundation, so it's in Theodore Worth. Yeah, I really, really like my internship. It's super cool. I met a lot of new people. Um, yeah, I really liked it. One cool thing I think I like gained from the internship was actually I was able to get a job there, which was pretty fun. So kind of helped me like get towards that. I don't think I would have been able to do it without the internship. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Will you tell us about your internship?
Yeah, so I work or I don't work, but I'm for my Wednesday internship, I go to SAP Nursery, which is the St. Anthony Park Nursery, and I work with like younger children and some like fifth, fourth graders, and I kind of just help aid the teachers and clean up and build friendships or connections with the younger kids and kind of guide them through their learning experiences and their play. So I find it super cool that I get to do that and kind of learn how to communicate with younger children.
Vincent?
My internship is actually at Gray River. Unlike most of them, a lot of them you get to go off campus, and there are very few where you stay at school. But I help Sarah Hanson, the ninth grade math guide. I designed curriculum for the math class. So one thing we've been working on is spherical geometry and hyperbolic geometry. And so I'll like help make homework assignments. I'll help like review some of the ones she's made and kind of see if, we can get rid of some of the clunk because and I also get like a lot of feedback from like students and I help kind of like see what we can do to kind of improve the ninth grade math curriculum and kind of class. And it's a whole lot of fun. And Great River is pretty cool for allowing me to do that.
All right. How about for key experience, either your favorite key experience or a piece of advice that you have for students who might be feeling kind of nervous about going on one of the trips? But
Yeah.
maybe, Vincent, do you want to start us off? I'm just going to keep going back and forth.
Um, I'm gonna be honest, like feeling nervous is probably the only like I would say like super reasonable emotion to have around key experiences. Um, I remember in fourth grade, I think we literally had like 2 days of school before we went, and I actually had never like slept away from my house except like at my grandparents' house or like my friend's house who lived down the street. And so I was like super nervous and I like lost my mind. But by the end of the trip, I just kind of wanted to like not go home. Um, so I don't know if there's anything you can necessarily do to kind of mitigate the nervousness. Maybe don't think of it as nervousness, maybe think of it as excitement. Like you're kind of like going to experience something new. You're gonna meet a lot of people. And like I still remember everything I've done on like every single key experience. And like those are memories you'll probably hold forever. So yeah, it's worth the nervousness.
Lenny?
Um, I think my favorite was the Odyssey in eighth grade. And my advice to others would be, well, so I was new in eighth grade. And so on the Odyssey, it's very early in the year, and I didn't know anybody. So I was very, very nervous. But I think by the end of it, I came out like with more friends. So I think just like going, I think it helps to go on the trips with just like an open mind, and because you might make a few new friends. Yeah.
Oliver?
My favorite key experience is probably the bike trip in seventh and eighth grade. Uh, it seems like such a big thing, like biking that for that long with people you may not know that well. But really, there's so much preparation beforehand. I mean, you have a whole bike trip prep week just preparing for it, and you have classes on Wednesdays where you can just bike and know what you're doing. And you get prepared, and it still may feel uncomfortable, and that makes sense. I felt uncomfortable doing it, but I think if you just go in with a good attitude, good mindset, it's a lot better and you'll have a good time.
Mhm. I'm glad you brought that up, the preparation, because I think I didn't mention that like every year we have kids who have never ridden a bike before, and that we really try to prepare students for that. Frida?
I think my favorite key experience was probably the seventh and eighth grade bike trip too. I remember being super scared. I always had like separation anxiety from my mom and I never wanted to go, but I think those were like the most impactful trips I'd ever had, and it really like pushed me to realize how much I have inside myself and like because like you'd hear like oh 100-mile bike trip like that sounds crazy, but it like when once you do it, it like I don't know, it gives you like a boost of confidence like oh I didn't know I could do that. And I've built really good friendships on those trips, and I feel like although you're scared and it might make you feel uncomfortable, that pushing yourself to be uncomfortable really brings you like to a whole new level, I feel like.
Here?
I definitely agree with the two people before me. The bike trip was definitely my favorite. It was super fun. Um, Definitely something I still talk about to this day with people who went on with me. Very fun. Definitely worth it to go. I remember I was very nervous, but by the end of it, it was definitely worth it. So,
All right, my last question is there anything that you want to share with this group of prospective families that you haven't had a chance to talk about yet?
Javi, you first.
sorry. Um, I I don't know. I think I've kind of shared everything. I think the main things I really like about Graver are just the small settings. I think another thing that I didn't really get to mention was um, the diploma program. I think that's a really cool opportunity at Graver that um, I like a lot. So yeah.
Can you share what you like about it?
Um, it's definitely challenging, which I think is good. I like challenge. I feel like in the past sometimes school has been easy, but it definitely I'm being pushed pretty hard in the diploma, and I really like that. I feel like I'm also just getting a lot out of it. Like, um, I don't know. I think it's just an overall good opportunity to have. Yeah.
Thank you. Frida?
I know we've talked a lot about having like a close, tight community in at Great River, and I feel like it just really opens up so many opportunities for future like things like college and like getting close with your teachers, they can do a lot for you and, like write you letters of recommendations and you just develop that personal relationship and they really get to see you grow and you get that personal experience. Whereas maybe at a larger school, you wouldn't be recognized or seen as much. So they really get to watch you grow and um, acknowledge all of your accomplishments. So.
Olive?
Yeah, I think that in this school you can truly advocate for yourself and kind of incorporate who you are into work and just your life so well. And you can make school interesting really easily. It's not just gonna be sit there and listen to the teacher and take notes, whatever. You can really do what you want to do. And it's really fun. And yeah.
Lenny?
I really agree with how we have a really good community, and I like how it's really small, but I still know a lot of people really well. And I just really enjoyed getting to know a bunch of people. Even though I only came last year, I still feel like I've known these people for a long time. That's just like what it feels like. Um, and yeah, I just really like the community we have.
Vincent?
I think there's a lot of I think everyone kind of summed it up pretty well. The community is very tightly wound. I don't think I would ever it's like it's interesting because there's a lot of people that I can think of now that I don't talk to every day, but at some point in my time at Great River, I have had like a really kind of like unique conversation with that person, and like maybe they were super antisocial at the time, or I was super antisocial at the time, or I was super social and they were super social, and like um there's kind of room for everybody, I think. And there's not a lot of like clickiness to it. Like there's not really like groups of people. I mean, there are like friend groups, but there's not no room to invite other people to kind of join, if that makes sense. There's always kind of room for another person. There's always room for um like new conversations and new people. And then eventually you know everybody, and then everyone just you can talk to anybody. It's pretty cool.
Right. I want to open it up to the group if anybody has additional questions for our panelists.
There was one question, but it wasn't for the panelists. So if anybody has anything specific you want to ask the students, please throw it in the chat and I will ask it out loud. Well, there's something crazy coming across my screen. We got people raising hands. Okay,
Hey, all right.
hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can get in here. What was that? Maybe I'll just let you guys ask out loud if I can figure out how to give you the ability to unmute. Okay, Marie, feel free to speak out loud.
Hi, thank you. We have a prospective seventh grader, and she's wondering about homework and what to expect.
Anybody want to raise your hand if you want to take that?
Yeah, I feel like Lenny, Oliver, thinking back to last year.
Oliver, okay.
For the homework in seventh and eighth grade, I think it's not too overwhelming. You get things pretty spread out and you get plenty of time to do it, and you can always ask for an extension if you need it, which you're normally given unless there's a reason not to. I think it's pretty laid back, and the formative, like the non-major assignments, don't do much to your grade if you don't get a good grade on one. I think you should still aim for a good grade on all the formatives, but I think it's fine. You're nothing to worry about.
We
You're,
often say
oh, go ahead, Randy.
maybe like for students that are using their independent work time really well, there's usually not so much homework until you kind of get into that like 11th and 12th grade when it can feel like more of an increase.
I'm going to come to you I'll let you voice your question, but I have one in the chat. If you play violin, can you be in the music group? I know Vincent plays a non-rock band type music instrument.
I don't know how to raise my hand. I don't remember how to
Yeah.
use Zoom.
Well, just
It's
raise
been
your
like
hand
6 years.
physically. I can see your video. You can just raise your hand physically.
Okay. Absolutely. I think we actually so I play saxophone. I play alto sax. I've been playing for about 5, 6 years or something like that. And honestly, the more unique or kind of like um genre specific. I mean, saxophone can play like a lot of genres, but like there's a lot of guitar players, there's a lot of bass players, there's a lot of drummers like at our school, like very rock centered musicians. If you have something unique like violin, absolutely you could definitely join. Like Zach is one of the best, I think, people at finding opportunities for students who have kind of like unique instruments and unique kind of ideas to help them kind of put it on stage. Like for sure, you should definitely play in the band. Like that's 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and I go to all the music concerts and can say that they'll highlight your instrument as well and find music to highlight it. So we've had people who were really good at playing violin, and we did the double went down to Georgia just so they could highlight their skills. So there's a lot of opportunity for that. All right, Maggie, I'm gonna let you unmute and you can ask your question.
Hi, we have a prospective ninth grader coming in, and I'm wondering what college prep looks like in terms of she has an older sister, so I'm a little familiar with how some schools will use English for essay writing or but your stats for colleges are really impressive. What does the prep start looking like in the junior year going into senior year?
Javi or Vincent, do you want to take it? I see Vincent's hand first. And then Javi will go to you next too. Let you both answer.
Um, I think that's a really good question. Glopo, like so the IB diploma, I think is probably one of the most like unique opportunities that I've heard of that prepares you for college. Specifically with like global politics. Anu definitely makes an effort to have you write quite a bit. And at the beginning of the year, if you asked me to write an essay in an hour, I probably wouldn't be able to do it, but now I can write them in 45 minutes, if not less. Like it really does teach you like efficiency while having high quality writing. Um, so there's that class. Like I think TOK is a pretty unique class, like theory of knowledge. You can kind of learn to think, I guess, like for yourself more so, which I know like independence is a super valuable kind of trait to have, especially when you're headed off to college. Um, and we don't start that class until junior year. So I think it's I'd say it's probably like an 8.5 out of 10. I don't know. I have no other experiences, but it's pretty good.
Um, I mean, Vincent, you talked a little bit about like writing and stuff, and I definitely agree with that. The diploma is super, super writing heavy. You write a lot of papers, a lot of stuff. So you'll definitely get your practice in with writing essays for college. And another thing that was I really personally liked about college prep was our 11th grade key experience. So that trip, we went to I think it was 5 different colleges, and that was super fun. So yeah, we kind of went all over Minnesota and Wisconsin and visited them, and I know that helped me a lot, just kind of get a better idea of what college could look like for me. So
Frida, I forgot you're an 11th grader too. Do you have anything you'd add to that?
Um, I think um like the IB diploma, I'm not in the IB diploma, but I do have most IB classes. And I think that the way GRS sets up the grades before like ninth and 10th grade, it really helps you ease into like preparing for college. And like Vincent said, I think global politics is one of my most challenging classes due to the amount of writing we have to do. But um, I guess I've heard from a lot of people that um, going into college won't feel as intimidating as it might for other people because we've been prepped well and we've kind of just been given a lot of opportunity to practice and be critiqued on our work. So I think that's really nice.
Maybe I'll just jump in and add that we have a full-time college counselor too. So Kylie leads workshops on Wednesday mornings, where she has sessions that are all about how to write college essays. We also use those Wednesday morning blocks to do college visits. So we have a lot of representatives from different schools that come and kind of talk students through what it looks like to apply to their programs. So that's also a nice resource.
Um, Kelly, go ahead and ask your question. Maybe.
Hi. Um, I was just wondering, what is the breakdown of ninth graders, or the makeup of the ninth grade class, and like how many are graduating eighth graders from the previous year and new students to GRS?
I can I can actually probably answer that one. I literally have that spreadsheet up. Um, so this year, hold on, ninth grade, we brought in so many new ninth graders. Like 25 out of 77 are new to Great River this year. And so the rest of those are returning from last year. However, we did not lose as many ninth graders as sometimes we have. Like students want to go, have another experience. I guess we had about 19 students leave between eighth and ninth grade this last year. And some years that's higher, some years it's lower. Uh, oh Lordy, I lost my screen. Hold on. Okay. Um, Vanessa, you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Scope math. I'm
There you
in
go.
eighth grade, and I was wondering, are there any things I could do to get placed in a higher math?
Vanessa, can you start your question from the start again? Because we missed the first part of it.
I'm in telescope, so I was curious if there's any way I could get placed in higher math.
So you're a student,
Yes,
and what grade are you currently?
eighth.
Eighth grade. I don't know who wants to take this, Randy.
I feel like scheduling expert, Stacy.
Yeah, I am kind of the scheduling expert. So that depends. So we have like in ninth grade, all of our students take intermediate math two, and it's a combination of geometry and algebra skills. And then you in the 10th grade year, you choose between integrated math three algebra focus or analysis focus, and then applications focus. And so it kind of changes your path a little bit of what you're going to take in 11th and 12th grade for IB math. We've had some students who are like extremely ahead in math, and they do the UmpTY program through the U of M. It's been a couple years since we've had a student doing that, but we have worked with students who get into that program and want to take extra advanced math through a different program. So we could talk about it and see where you're at, but in ninth grade, it's kind of limited.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Um, okay, hold on one second. Christy, go ahead.
Hi, I'm curious. We would have an incoming ninth grader, and she's been in Chinese immersion since kindergarten. And I see that you offer Spanish, but my question is if she wanted to continue with Chinese at the level she's at, could she do it like through PSEO, or how do you do that for kids coming in from immersion with different languages?
I feel like this is me.
We do offer
Randy, you got it.
PSEO for different languages. Yeah.
You can take it, Randy.
So that is an option. We have students who take ASL, for example, and French, and I'm trying to think of the other, German. So yeah, every year we have some students who want to continue with the language that they started before coming to Great River. How about Stacy's iPhone?
Just had a question about class sizes for my daughter's incoming as 11th grade next year and what the class sizes are.
Yeah, students, you want to take this? What are your average class sizes? Oh, Vincent?
Yeah. In the IB diploma at least, I don't know. Apparently my classes are pretty small. Like I have one class with like 12 kids, and then I have another class with like 25 tops. So it can range kind of between 12 to 25. Um, yeah, and you usually know all of them, so that's cool.
Yeah, as the person who does the scheduling, we try to keep it a little bit lower. There is one teacher who actually likes full classes, so we've gone up to 30 in her classes. But she has the space for it and she wants it. So Maggie, go ahead with your question.
The language question actually, so our family has put both my girls through the Concordia language camp, which has the high school credit program. Does Great River accept that?
We do, yes.
So would that be able to replace a language hour that could be filled up with something else?
Absolutely. And it's not required by the state of Minnesota, but Great River does require 2 years worth of credits. So if you had already gotten your 2 years worth of credits through that, that would count for it.
Cool.
My prospective student, my daughter would actually be enrolling in the high school credit, probably all 4 years, just for fluency, but French. So, okay.
Yeah, we would accept that.
And we're a big Concordia school. We have so many students who do Concordia language villages, which actually Vincent reminded me that we have a student who's doing the IB diploma in German this year. And so if students are really, really confident in their language skills, that's also an option.
We have staff who work there too in the summers. Christy?
This is about language again, sorry. But if she did PSEO for Chinese, do you guys have like PSEO in the school, or would she need to go to like the University of Minnesota or something? How does that work? And can they do that in ninth grade? They don't have to wait until 11th?
Yeah, you would have to wait. PSEO, you have to apply to those colleges' PSEO programs. And sometimes we've had one 10th grader who qualified for it and is taking some classes through PSEO. They don't do it as low as ninth grade, though. We have several 11th and 12th graders who do PSEO through a variety of colleges. Stacy's iPhone again. Hold on. There we go.
I just had another question about what you do about IEPs and how those are handled.
Yeah, we've got about 20% of our population has IEPs. We have like teams that work. I'm thinking we've got like three special ed guides that work with the 11th and 12th grade alone. And so it's really nice because you tend to have the same case manager for a number of years in a row, so they get to know you really well. Our staff are really experienced with thinking about differentiation and working with a variety of different disabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more kind of specific question?
I mean, I can add to that what we tend to hear from our students with IEPs, maybe like if they've gone to other schools and then come to our school, there isn't a stigma associated with it for a lot of our students. They're just like, yeah, I'm getting extra help. And they just go and get extra help. And so that's kind of a lovely part of that program too.
Frida?
Oh, go ahead. Let me unmute you, Frida. There you go.
I have an IEP and I value it so much. I get a lot of help and I love all the SPED staff. I got my IEP in ninth grade and it like really transformed how I felt about school because I had never really understood what I was learning. And the teachers in SPED are very like they're very good at what they do and they kind of tailor the way they explain things to you, the way that you learn. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's really been a great resource for me, and I'm very grateful for the staff. They're very welcoming and kind, and yeah. Oh, and also the teachers are very good at making accommodations for you, and they're very kind when you need maybe like an extension or if you need like a part of an assignment cut out or shortened. They're really kind about that or over explaining a million times about an assignment, which I always do. So
Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm going to bring us to a close. Thank you so much, panelists. I always love getting to hear from you. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you, everyone. Feel free to hang back if you have kind of more specific questions for me. I'm happy to stick around for a little bit longer. And please feel free to reach out by email as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you for coming. Thanks, students.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, is Christy still here? Yeah, thank you. I just saw your question that we didn't answer about a shadow day. Yes, a ninth grader can do a shadow day at the school. Typically, we set up shadowing after the lottery has been held, and so we'll offer it to folks who it depends on how many people are on the list, but we tend to offer to a lot of ninth graders. It's like maybe if you're 100th on the list, you might not be offered right away because we need to prioritize the students who are higher on that list, but we do offer lots of shadow opportunities. Here, I can unmute you if you have any other questions.
No, that was going to be my question. And I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
So she wouldn't be able to take Chinese as a ninth grader through school. Like she couldn't, or could she do like online Chinese and have like an hour to do that as a class
Yeah,
or?
we've done that before too. So Matt McElrath is our director of student services, and he usually works with students when we're making like alternate plans around the world language, including online options. So yeah, I think a couple years ago we had some students doing Japanese, and they just instead of an elective or instead of when they would have Spanish on their schedule, they got an extra independent work hour where they could work on that language.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks for sticking around.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.